a natural part of life. We lose things on a daily or weekly or monthly basis, whether it's losing a job that you loved, whether it's losing a parent, whether it's breaking up with a boyfriend or girlfriend. Loss is something that we're constantly having to deal with. I caught up with Ems, who talks about her loss, the loss of her mother, and also ways in which she dealt with that and how maybe that could help you deal with your loss.
So Ems, hi.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about your story.
I think my journey with grief began when my mum announced to me that she had terminal cancer, and suddenly my life kind of felt like it stopped a little bit, and I had to deal with some quite scary thoughts of, wow, she's not going to be here, my family's going to change, and I was very grateful for that kind of time in our lives. We had precious time together before she died, but it was actually only 40 days from that announcement to her actually dying, so it was quite quick for us.
So when she passed away, what symptoms, what feelings did you feel? How was that for you?
Just after Mum died, I felt in a bit of a bubble, really. It was almost as though I was numb, that nothing had really happened. It felt as though I was living somebody else's life. But that didn't last very long, that numb feeling. And I soon began to feel very low. I experienced mood swings, my hair kind of started to fall out. I wasn't sleeping very well. I felt quite anxious about simple things, and just normal things like cooking a very simple thing would make me quite stressed, which normally it doesn't.
When you start to feel these symptoms, what is it that helped? How did you get out of this bubble? How did you recover?
Yeah. I think my recovery from grief has been quite a slow journey, and I felt at the time as though I was in kind of a pit and I had a choice to make. Was I going to stay in my little pit, or was I going to get out of it? And I decided that I needed to get out. But I knew I couldn't do that by myself, and so I was very grateful for amazingly positive friends to kind of help me and speak life into me. I decided to write a book, which was a fabulous kind of thing, because writing down my feelings really helped me engage with how I was feeling. And also I felt like, because I have a really strong faith, so much of what I was reading in books and especially in the Bible showed me that actually there is hope for people like me, and I started to very slowly climb out and realise that there was life on the other side of that pit for me.
Good. So if you were to give people watching some advice, if they're going through grief right now, what would be your kind of top 3 tips that you would say?
I think if I was going to say to somebody grieving, this is how you can help yourself, one would be feel how you're feeling. Sometimes we want to mask or kind of hide our feelings from other people, but actually that's not very good for us. And I learnt that if I felt that I needed to cry or I needed to do something in my grief, then I would listen to that voice. Secondly, I think you perhaps need to decide to give yourself a little bit of space. You're not going to be exactly the same now, and maybe you won't do exactly what you've been doing, so perhaps give yourself a little bit of time. And thirdly, seek help. There's so many beautiful books out there, there's great online resources like this one, and there might be a counsellor or somebody that you can talk to that you trust.
So can you just talk to us a little bit about how you are now, years on? How are you?
I think grief has changed me, but I think it's been for the better. It's been a strange season of my life, but one that I don't regret, and one that I look back on and see that actually there's been beautiful things along the way. So I talk about it to people a bit like a necklace that somebody gave me, and on that necklace are various different beads and they're different colours, and they might kind of not look very beautiful by themselves, but together they've made up something that I'm really happy to wear. And I feel more creative as a result of grieving. I feel more compassionate and I feel more competent. So God has given me 3 really different characteristics that I'm happy to carry now.